We wait a few minutes and then I will get started saying what's up to everybody real quick. As per usual, welcome. Thank you for joining me this afternoon, evening, maybe morning, depending where you are in the world. But welcome. And I'm excited to talk about this next topic. I'll give it a few minutes while everybody's joining. And yeah, then we'll get started. But in the meantime, where are you from? How are you doing? Tell me what's going on in your life before we get started. I'd love to hear it. It is Tuesday, another beautiful day in this beautiful planet called Earth. So today we're going to be talking about, if you just tuned in, I'm going to take these off, we're going to be talking about listening to your inner voice. I just did a post this morning about this. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. But, I basically talk about how a lot of these feelings that come up for people, right? From like whether you have anxiety, depression, of anger, or sadness, or things that come from the inside, right? That are hindering you from feeling at your full potential. That these are messages from your inner self, from your brain, from your body. And I really want to talk about that today and help you all understand and give you a different perspective as to why these things happen. Why do we feel these feelings, and why are we having such difficult time sometimes processing these emotions? So that's going to be the topic for today. I'm really excited. I have a very, very hard stop at 5 o'clock. So it's going to be a little bit rushed, but I really wanted to hop on here. I've been really busy and I took some time away from social media because I needed to reconnect myself, reground myself, and just kind of took a break from work also. I had my clients, but I wasn't doing anything extra because I just needed some time for myself. So I'm going to be talking about that as well, the importance of listening to your body, right? This is all, our bodies are constantly, and our minds even are telling us what to do, and we don't listen. And when we don't listen, then we get stressed and we feel overwhelmed, and which stress and overwhelming feelings are in hand. So we're going to talk about that, and I really think it's helped me, and I always use my own experiences and methods because I know they work, because I use them with my clients, and I also use them with myself, and I use them on a daily basis. So everything that I teach, everything that I share with you guys is things that actually work, obviously, but I've done them myself, or I do them myself. So how's it going? Jeff 409 from Boston. How you doing? Loving the good weather and getting out for walks. That is amazing. I love that. I love to hear that. We've been getting hit here in Nashville with some pretty bad floodings. I'm pretty sure most of Nashville was underwater a couple of days ago. It's really unfortunate and really sad. A lot of people lost their homes and their businesses and stuff like that. We got hit super hard with rain, and we're supposed to be getting hit tonight again. So luckily where I'm at, we have a really good draining system, so we didn't get affected, but we definitely saw some crazy weather. It was intense. So today is sunny, and I got out and got some fresh air and some vitamin D, and I feel pretty good about that. So how's it going? Madlink 829. How you doing? I do everyday walk, makes me feel less stressed. 100%. Everything you guys think about it. This is something I always talk about, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but everything you do with your body, right? Just going to get some sort of physical movement or activity doesn't just benefit you from a look perspective, right? From a health perspective, but it also helps you mentally a lot, because when you do work out, you release endorphins, and that actually helps you feel a lot better, helps you with concentration. Myself, I suffer from ADHD, So focusing can be challenging at times, but when I work out, I'm able to feel a lot more focused, and I can tune in my energy and energy levels and stuff like that into a more productive space. Where are you from, bro? I'm from Dubai, and I'm here in your live to learn English. Okay, well, how's it going? Is it chemo? Thank you so much for joining, and hello from Dubai. That's awesome. I'm in Tennessee, in the United States, Tennessee. So hello, thank you for joining. And like I said, today we're going to talk about listening to your inner voice. If you're new, if you're a recent follower, if you're new to my lives, I usually do a live every week. And I have different topics that I talk about. Obviously, if you've seen my videos, that's why you're here. I talk a lot about different messages for mental health or for well-being or things of that nature to give you a perspective about how you can change your life from being whether you're going through stress or anxiety or depression or any of those things. All of my messages are in hopes to inspire you and to let you know that we live in a world that you are in full control of. And obviously, as a life coach myself, this is what I teach my clients, and it's something that it's not taught. It's not taught in our school system. Nobody teaches us how to deal with ourselves, how to deal with emotions, and sometimes we do the best we can, and maybe they're not the best things to do for ourselves, and then we're left feeling this tension or anxious or lost. A lot of people that I work with are like, I don't know what my purpose in life is. And so I work with folks of all walks from all over the world, actually, and helping them. Sometimes you have cultural differences and you have things from different cultures that will affect you. Other times a lot of the times is how you grew up, the kind of parents you had, the things you were exposed to, that will affect you if you don't deal with it. Right? It will keep piling up and will affect you, and it will show up in various different ways in your life. So let's get to the topic, okay? And since, like I said, I have a pretty hard stop today at 5 my time, so listening to your inner voice. Okay, I love this topic, and I'm really, really passionate about it. And when I learned about this, this perspective really changed my life, and here's why. Because I used to feel years and years back, I used to feel like really, I would get angry, okay? I would get angry at small things, right? And oftentimes I felt like I had a lot of anger, but I really wanted love. And I really wanted, I wanted to be understood, and I wanted to have someone that cared, that displayed that empathy. And the reason why, it was because of how I grew up, right? I grew up in a household that was very negative, and my parents, were physically and mentally abusive, and I love them to death. They've changed a lot ever since then, but that's how it was growing up, and that's where that anger stems from. But I didn't know. So for years upon years, I had been walking around with all this anger, and I didn't know why, and that frustrated me even more. And I realized when I started to go on my healing journey that the reason why I was angry was because my body, my subconscious mind, was trying to tell me, hey, you are angry for a reason. And I kept avoiding that, right? I kept avoiding that, and I just kept reacting on the fact that I was angry, right? And I was just like snappy. And the same thing with sadness, the same thing with when I was feeling down or depressed. These feelings were surfacing, and I didn't know why I felt them, and I thought I did, right? But I never got to the root of them, and it's because I never took the time to look at it from a different angle, right? And that's the key right there, is really taking the time to be like, okay, I recognize that I've been pissed. I have a short fuse ever since I can remember, right? but I'm not happy with this part of me. I am not happy with this and I would like to change, but I don't know how, right? But my body keeps giving me this anger, and then I get anxious, or maybe I get really uncomfortable in front of crowds or whatever it may be, right? That you have. It's your body that's telling you, hey, this is something that's wrong here, and this is why you're feeling this way, because you need to attend to it. And so learning on how to stop and say, okay, let me just really think back now to when was the first time I really felt angry in my life? When did this anger come from? Because I sure as hell wasn't born angry as a child, right? No child is ever born angry, right? We learn about anger. I'm just using anger as an example here, but fill in the blank with however you feel. And you need to learn to understand yourself, much how we take the time to understand other people, like our friends and folks that we interact with. You need to do the same thing with yourself. And if you don't do that, if you don't take the time to try to understand yourself as to why you behave a certain way, right? Then you're going to continue to do the same thing over and over and over. Meaning, you're going to continue to be upset, and you're going to continue to show up that way, and you're going to get more frustrated, and your body is going to keep adding to it because you're not dealing with it. And so that is when you can get that feeling of feeling stuck, right? And you're like, I don't know what to do. I feel stuck with all these emotions. I feel like I'm not going anywhere, and no matter what I do, nothing is working. How many of you have felt that way, right? And if you have, it's normal. And all that's the reason that is because you're not approaching those feelings from the right angle, okay? And so by keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same results over and over and over again. So whether this is resonating with you or not, the concept that I want to really for you to understand is that our minds and our bodies are connected. And, we have animal instincts. We have this, what we call gut feelings, and we have all these internal feelings that we get, right? We all have felt it in one way or another, in some shape or form, right? We felt like, oh, I have a weird feeling and not to do this or to do this, or to face sometimes your fears, or reverse on that. You need to listen. You need to learn to listen to those thoughts that come in. And most importantly, you need to learn to understand them. Because if you do not understand yourself, it's like trying to have a relationship with somebody you don't understand. You're going to get frustrated, right? And it's not going to go very well. It's not going to be a very effective relationship. So how do you do this? That's the $1 million question. Well, I know a lot of us have been in quarantine. I know a lot of us are what I'm about to say next, you're going to tell me, Alex, I'm tired of spending time with myself. But I'm going to say two important things. Spending constructive, quality time with yourself. Constructive, quality time. There's a big, big, big difference there, okay? You can spend time with yourself, like doing like hours upon hours, doing nothing that's going to help you, right? In fact, you can actually adopt even worse habits that are only going to hinder you from getting to your goals. So it's a matter of pressing pause for a second, stepping out, taking a notebook and a pen or a pencil, and sitting down and writing down what is important to you, right? So write down a list of what are the things that are important to you. Where do you want to be in life? Where are you now? And then what action do you need to take in order to make those things happen? Now, if you have a long list, right, you don't have to address every single one of them. Choose three. Three at a time, from most priority to the least priority that you want to focus on, and start addressing those things. So, for example, let's say you want to be happier in life. Well, if you feel, which means that you feel unhappy, right? Or you're not as happy as you want to be. Most of the time when we want something, it's because we don't have it, which means it's the polar opposite, or it's not as to the level that we want it. So now you have to dig and ask yourself, okay, well, but why do I feel this way right now? If I want to be happier, which is fine, before I get there, I need to understand, how did I get here to this level? How did I get to this state, to this vibrational field, right? To the point where I am unhappy, but I want to be happier, but I don't know what that looks like. So that's when you need to do some self-digging and really think about, like, okay, when was the last time I was truly, genuinely happy? Truly, genuinely happy, right? And most importantly, identify, what does the word happiness mean to you? What does it mean to you? And why is it important? And once you identify that, right, now you're starting to now feel as lost, because now you have meaning to what happiness means to you. Now you have understanding as to why you are in the position that you are, whether it's because of the habits that you've been adopted throughout time that you know have not served you well, whether it is the people, right, whether it is the mentality that you have, or the perspective that you have, that it's not a healthy one. Maybe you're really negative on yourself, or maybe you've been going through a lot of things. You haven't taken the time to process all of those things. Whatever it is, identifying it helps you seek closure, but also helps you say, oh, okay, that's what happened. Okay, so now that you know what happened, right, and you know where you want to go, you can start drawing out that roadmap for yourself. And it's really going to help you in the long run, as you take on other things that you want to work on with yourself, whether it's depression, whether it's anxiety, anger, whatever have you. But your body is constantly telling you. If you feel these feelings, it's your body telling you, you need to fix this. You need to look at this. You're feeling this way for a reason. Okay? So, my back. So I'm going to take a pause there, and I'd love to hear what you think, because I know I just covered a lot of information in a very short amount of time. But I would love to hear your thoughts. And if any of you have any questions or anything of that nature, I'd love to address those questions as well, since we have about 30 minutes left on this live. But does it make sense what I'm saying? Are you understanding how, when you're feeling these thoughts, right? It's literally our minds and our bodies trying to tell us that we need to look at that, because it's not good for us, right? And the more we keep feeding into it, the stronger it gets, right? And the more we keep avoiding it, the stronger it gets, because then the body's like, okay, well, that's not working, so we got to do something else, So, but what drives all of this, ladies and gentlemen, the number one thing is action. And I find that a lot of people struggle with taking action. A lot of people want things to do. A lot of people maybe have the awareness. A lot of people want all these things in their lives, but they don't want it bad enough that they're willing to take action, or they doubt themselves, or they're like, well, I want to be happy, but I don't think I can be happy. Then you're right. If you think you cannot be happy, then you already set that for yourself. You already gave yourself that definition. But you're not allowing yourself the opportunity to really be happy, because in your mind you're already saying, no, I can't do it. And so part of having that awareness and part of having that understanding is the want. The want of, it has to come so deep and so strong that you say, you know what, I'm fucking tired of living like this. I am so done. I'm so done battling myself. I'm so done feeling like I go to war with myself every single day with my thoughts, and I feel exhausted, and you know what, I'm done. And I'm going to take charge of my life no matter what. So you have to want it, ladies and gentlemen, because if you don't want it bad enough, you're not going to do it. You're just not. And it's tough. I get it. A lot of people say, well, you don't understand, Alex, it's tough. No, I understand. Trust me. I understand. I've been in the dark, in the darkest of darkness, and that's why I do what I do, because I've been able to crawl out of that darkness, dealing with PTSD, with severe depression, anxiety, and a lot of, if some of you already know my story and some of you don't, but I've dealt with a lot of things in my life. And I've been in the dark. I know what it feels like. But you know what snapped me out of it? It's the desire of me wanting something better for myself. It's the of being tired of just feeling shitty all the time. And I am extremely happy now. To answer your question, Yoda 3. I'm very happy, of course. I mean, I would never be a life and health coach, if I wasn't happy myself. I think that doesn't work like that. And all of you would feel this from me, right? You would feel this vibration, this energy. I am extremely happy in my life, and it's because I understood and I learned that I control my happiness. That my happiness is not controlled by others. My happiness is not controlled by anything else, but it comes within. Happiness comes within. It does not come from the outside. I'm telling you right now. And so does me understanding and knowing that I control my environment, because my perspective of how I choose to view life, right, ultimately makes my reality. And if I choose to take things from the outside world and then really just like make them my own, then I'm going to bring that into my reality, right? And so it's having that understanding with yourself, that inner peace, the self-knowing, the knowing who you are, what you want in life. That's where happiness comes from. That's where peace comes from. That's where love comes from. Love doesn't come from necessarily other people. We receive love, we can receive love, but love comes within. If you are not in love, if you don't feel love inside of you, if you're not happy with yourself, no one can give you that. They can maybe give it to you for a little bit, but there's always going to be something missing. You're not going to be able to know what it is. But I promise you, it's going to be because you have not accepted yourself. You have not given yourself that permission to love yourself, to be happy with yourself, to believe in yourself, to know who you are, be confident in yourself, right? And so if you choose to wake up and do the same things every single day, you're gonna get the same results every single day. So you must take action. You must do things differently. It is the only way. And I know that can be tough, but even changing that perspective and saying, you know what, it's gonna be challenging, but I got it. I can do this. I know I can, because I'm tired of living this way. And then what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose in trying something that could potentially better you versus doing something that you already know it's not working? And maybe the new thing you try doesn't work, okay, but maybe you'll learn something. I promise you, along the way, if you're open to it, you'll learn something. And then you try something else. And maybe the second time doesn't work, but you learn something else that you were supposed to learn. But maybe the fourth time, it finally works, it clicks. And then you can stop and reflect on everything you've learned along the way. And it will all connect, and you'll be like, oh, okay, that's why that didn't happen. That's why that didn't happen. And you're gonna feel more confidence. You're gonna feel like, okay, I can do this. I got this. I did it, and I didn't quit, and I stayed persistent. And in return, I feel so much better. So that's going to give you strength to go on to the next thing, to attack the next thing that you want to work on. And you're going to have, by having that confidence, you're going to feel a lot more empowered to do those things, to take on those challenges, right? So you have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone. Nothing good happens in your comfort zone. I'm telling you right now, okay? Nothing good happens. If you want to grow, you have to get out of your comfort zone. That's how you're going to see a different perspective, okay? And there's a lot of things that I teach my clients that how to get you slowly out of your comfort zone, so it's not so dramatic, and start teaching yourself and rewiring your brain that it's okay to get out of your comfort zone for positive things. And then take the uncomfortable or being out of your comfort zone, and it will mean a positive thing with these exercises, right? So you have to kind of manipulate your brain, or reteach your brain rather, that being out of your comfort zone is actually a good thing, and challenges are good things, and because you can grow, and by growing you become a better human, and by becoming a better human, you can show up better for yourself and for others, and by doing so, you make a better place you're making this world a better place by your presence. And most importantly, also, by you feeling good yourself, you project that, and people can feel that. And it's a trickle effect. It's a trickle effect. There's a lot of psychology tests that have been done throughout the past 40 to 50 years on how people just follow when they're feeling lost. And sometimes you never know how you can be of an encouragement for somebody to say, you know what? This person went through hell and they're happy now and they got everything. Like, I can do this too. If they can do it, I can do it. And now you just made a difference in who knows how many lives. And that's how we make this place a better place, by coming together, by sharing our experiences, by being open to learn, to being uncomfortable now and then, so we can grow and become better people. And most importantly, so we can find peace within our hearts and our souls. But if you're doing the same thing over and over every single day, you're going to get the same results. It's like wanting to get fit but not going to the gym. It's like wanting to be healthier but not eating healthy foods. It's like wanting to be in a relationship but not working on yourself first. Got you there. Everything must take an action. You must do, if you want something, it's not just a matter of just wanting it. It's understanding it, and understanding that you must do the work within you to get there, within yourself to get there. That it's not out there like society has led us to believe. Happiness does not exist in theory out there. It exists within you. It's how you choose to look and feel happiness, right? So if we are lost inside of us, then we are lost everywhere. So we must do this number, look inside, spend this time that we have, right, in quarantine with ourselves, but being constructive with it. Constructive. And with quality. Constructive quality time. So, tell me what you think so far. And I'm going to take a little break because I need water, because I'm really thirsty. But we have a few minutes left before I have to go. But I really wanted to talk to you guys about this. I'm really passionate about it because, like, out of every single client that I have, I always hear this, well, it's really hard. And I always tell them, let's change that story. Let's change that story. That's the story you keep telling yourself over and over and over again. Oh, it's really hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. If you tell yourself something, if you tell yourself you're a duck, before you know it, you're going to look like a duck. You're going to start cracking like a duck, and you're going to feel like a duck. Tell yourself the things that you want in your life, right? Tell yourself the things that you want in your life. Practice that self-care. It's extremely important to really take the time and say, like, I'm here, I'm alive. What do I want to do with my life? Do I want to just sit on my couch and watch TV all the time? Does that really make me happy? Or do I want to just scroll through social media for hours upon hours? I mean, we are in a social media platform, but this is the only time I come on here. It's to read, to answer your comments, and to do these, right? I use this to reach to people. But I don't scroll through social media, right? So, why are you here? Ask yourself, like, why am I here? Question mark. Really. And can you answer that question? And if you cannot, maybe it's something you should look into. And it doesn't have to be a negative thing. It's a beautiful thing. Ladies and gentlemen, you are one of a kind. Hello, one of a kind. There's no one like you. No one that's just like you. You are the most unique individual in this universe. And if you think that, if you don't know why you're here, you need to wake up, because you have a purpose. It doesn't have to be something huge like most people think it is, right? The question is, what is my purpose, or why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I on this earth? Why have I experienced all of these things? Try to understand yourself. I challenge you. Right? I need a drink. Okay, sorry about that. But USA gave the opportunity. So I understand there's different culture differences. Okay? Think about that. I understand that. I get it. I have clients from Middle East. I have clients from Asia. I have clients from South America. I have clients from all over the world. Okay? And it's very interesting to hear the different dynamics, right? But again, you can control yourself. You can control your feelings. You can control how you want to look at life. I understand that sometimes governments make it difficult, and some cultures is very, very difficult. I understand that. I'm not trying to be insensitive with that. But I also understand, coming from a person, I've been to the Middle East. I've been to Afghanistan. Okay? I've been to other places in the Middle East. I know how it is. I've been to South America. I've been to Central America. I've been to all over Europe. I've been to a lot of places, and not always for visiting. So I've been exposed to different cultures also. And it really is, it's not just the culture always. I used to be, I'm part of still this group that we go to El Salvador, and we help people that have nothing. Absolutely nothing. And we teach them techniques on how to change their views and how to be more productive and how to reach their dreams. And in 1 year, we affected an entire town. They're much more happier. They have a few more things, and they don't need a lot. They live a very basic life, but they're happy and complete and pretty very, very basic standards in poverty, and what we would consider poverty here in the United States. And so there's always a way to find an excuse why we can't do something. That's easy. But how come we don't try to find an excuse to do something that's better for us? How come we're quick to go on like, oh, but I can't do this because of this? Why? What do you get from that? Do you get anything positive? No. So why waste your energy and time thinking like that instead of saying, what can I do? Why not focus on things that you can do, that you do have control over? And in result, you're going to get positive results out of it. You're going to feel better. So your energy is much better used, right? Your thoughts and your time and everything, and focusing on things that you can actually change, that you can actually control, instead of the things that we can't. So again, it all comes within, ladies and gentlemen. You have to allow yourself, you have to give yourself the permission to say, yes, I want to do things different. I want to live a different life. I want to feel different. And this is why. This is why I want to feel that. This is why it's important to me. Not to anybody else. Because it doesn't matter what people think. It's what's important to you. But if you aren't clear, if you're navigating through life, not knowing who you are, why you're here, you're going to feel lost. And there's no worse feeling than feeling lost. And you're desperately trying to find a way, right? And find a purpose. I imagine people in the dark, dark room with no light and just looking around everywhere and you're scared out of your mind because you don't know if there's going to be a hole in front of you or if there's going to be a pole you're going to run into. All you see is darkness and you're scared because fear is the number one driver to a lot of people's being able to be at their full potential. They're afraid to do things, okay? To be out of their comfort zone, to take action. So I really, really want you all to think about that, okay? And understand that it's all in your control. Stop focusing on things you cannot control. That is a waste of time. But focus on what can you control. What can you do different today, not tomorrow, because tomorrow, it's not promised, unfortunately, right? So what will you do after this life? What will you do different? It's a choice. Life is a choice, and it's up to you if you want to change your life. Take action today, ladies and gentlemen. Don't waste another time. You are a beautiful human being, inside and out, right? Inside and out, you're unique. There's no one like you. You're one out of 7.5, 7.6 billion people in this world. Oh my God. I am honored to be able to have this opportunity to interact with you guys all because you're all such unique individuals. And that's beautiful. But do you know that? Do you know your value? Do you know who you are? Think about it. All right, I'm gonna read some comments because I feel like I haven't read a lot of them. I want to learn English and speak like an American people, but I am sluggish and I don't have the motivation. Okay, Chemo. So just to answer your question, Chemo, English is not my first language. I don't know if you knew that. I have a little bit of an accent, but it's very mild. And I have worked and continue to work pretty hard on getting rid of it, just because I want to improve myself, just for that sake and that sake only. I like to challenge myself, but it is possible. And what I would tell myself is, you know what, I can do this. And I would be open to criticism, and I would be open to constructive criticism. And, I would ask people, is this how you say this? And then I would pay close attention, and it's also easier when you're exposed to that language around here. So, I understand that. But again, don't focus on like, oh, I can't do this. I don't have the motivation. If you want it bad enough, just say, yeah, I really want to do this. And every week I'm going to do something different. Approach another way to practice. Maybe you do a Zoom with somebody. Maybe you make friends with someone here in the US, and you want to have a Zoom session, and someone that's willing to help you, right? Or whatever it is. Maybe you listen to or watch movies and then pronunciate, like listen and repeat it yourself over and over and over again. But there's ways to do it, man. Like just don't just say I can't do it, I'm unmotivated, because then you are right. You are unmotivated and you cannot do it. But if you shift that and say, you know what, I'm going to do things different and I'm going to try it, then you're going to see how things start to change. Okay. How to get out of your comfort zone. So getting out of your comfort zone, I teach this with all my clients, and there's a lot of ways you can do this. And I'm going to give you guys one example, okay, that's very easy, that anybody can do. Okay, you ready? Here it comes. Okay. The one thing you can do that's super easy to get out of your comfort zone is next time you go shower, nice and toasty, nice and warm shower, okay? For the last 5 to 10 seconds, okay, turn the water to cold all the way to cold. And a lot of you are like, I don't want to do that. There it is. You don't want to get out of your comfort zone because you don't want to be cold, and you think being cold is bad. But actually, if you look it up, the science behind being cold, it's actually good for your immune system. It speeds up your metabolism. For males, it increases your testosterone, not for women. And it does so many good things for you. It's good for your blood pressure. It's good for so many things. It's science. I'm not lying to you guys. Okay. But it's the idea, right, of like being like, sorry, I got distracted. It's the idea of being out of your comfort zone that makes people uncomfortable, right? So let me say, dude, some people live out of their comfort zone 24/7. That's good. That's good. If you live in out of your, if you're not living in your comfort zone, wait, some people live out of their comfort zone. Yeah. Okay. So if you're not in your comfort zone, that's good. That's how it helps you grow. It really, really does. Right. But are you applying that? How are you applying that with yourself? Are you getting yourself out of your comfort zone, or are you being made to be out of your comfort zone? There's a difference there, right? When you have the choice of wanting to do something, it's different. Okay? So, do you think it's okay to wear a jock strap with a cup every day? Because I do. Because I think people will think I'm weird. Look, man, if you want to wear a jock strap, I'm not here to judge you or anything like that. You do whatever you want, right? It's not a matter of what I think about it or what anyone thinks about it. You shouldn't care what people think, man. Honestly, if you like it, if that's comfortable for you, then do it. Who gives a shit what people think? It's your body. It's what makes you happy, and that's what matters, right? So that's what I have to say to that. But yeah, so going back to I was born in the States, but still get an accent after visiting mom. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I have days where I have pretty bad accents or heavy accents. I have not been to Jordan. Hello, Mary. I don't know if she's here still, but thank you, Alex. You helped me a lot, even if you don't. If you don't know, just listening at your podcast. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Miriam. Really do. And I'm glad I've been able to be of help. Kathy King says, honestly, I feel like most people are always out of their comfort zone. They just don't realize it. Okay. Anxiety, why does it creep up on a person out of nowhere? So, I have not visited Lebanon before. No. So let me address first the comfort zone. Yeah, perhaps some people, I think you're right. Some people, to an extent, maybe are exposing themselves to out of their comfort zone, but you have to be aware of it. And there's a lot of more power in being aware of that you are doing something that you're not comfortable with, that you're actually taking action. And the whole point I'm giving you this whole comfort zone conversation is because if you're aware of that, right, by doing something that you already know that you don't like, by taking action on it, it's going to help you take action on other things that you don't believe that you can do or that you find them difficult to do that are going to be beneficial to your mental health. So that's the whole point of the whole comfort zone thing that I was talking about. And then you can do anything you put your mind into it, 100%. That's like Eminem's quote. And then anxiety, why does it creep up on a person out of nowhere? You know, anxiety is, the thing about anxiety doesn't come, like we weren't born with anxiety, right? And so anxiety exists in your head. And it was created by an event or events of your life in which most of the time fear has to do with a lot of it with anxiety, right? You're afraid of or uncomfortable with something, right? So you get anxious when something comes up and you're like, oh, I don't like this, or I don't, so you get uncomfortable, you get anxious about it. And what happened is, typically, not always, but with anxiety, for me, it's because I've been exposed to something traumatic or something that I thought was traumatic that made me go in my cocoon, right? And so when I'm exposed again into that state or that experience, my body's like, no, danger. Even though it may not be dangerous, right? The association that I have given my body, my mind, has to do with danger. So the way to reverse that is by getting help. I think it's, I work a lot with my clients, and if you want to work with me, let me know. But you can just get professional help somebody to walk you through that process of dealing with anxiety and how to address it, what it is, when did it come, and how it has affected you, and then teaching you tricks on how to reverse that. You have to be brave because you have to face your anxiety and then teach your brain that this no longer serves you, right? So, does that make sense? Show pecs. This is not that kind of live, so I'm not here to show pecs. Sorry. Yeah, maybe some people have no other option. Let's see, what is it? Lola Coco 76. Yeah, I understand. Look, I see that you're fixated on that perspective, and that's fine. Again, you may not have some options with some things, but you do have a lot of options with how you want to react to things and how you want to process things. If you know you're stuck in a situation in which it's very difficult to get out of, okay, then I challenge you to think about, okay, well, if I know I'm stuck here, right, which the only reason I'm saying this is because I know in some countries this is the case, okay, even in this country I could say, but I like to believe there's always an option. There's always a way, and there's always an option for you to change your life. You just have to want it. It's not always going to be easy, but there's always a fucking way, okay? And I am very huge on that because I've experienced a lot of these things in which I should not be successful, I should not be happy, I should not be X, Y, and Z, I should be, who knows, right? Probably dead somewhere, right? With some of the things that I've been exposed to, but I changed my thought and my perspective of life. And if you just tell yourself, like, well, I don't have an option, then you're right. You don't have an option. You can create an option. You can create an alternative. You can change the way you think about things. If you are stuck in a situation that you feel like you cannot escape, or you cannot leave, or you cannot change, you can still change who you are and who you think, right? Or how you think, not who you think, how you think. That is an option. If you're like, okay, well, when I was in the Marine Corps, for example, and I was, there's a lot of things that I didn't want to do, but I was like, you know what? I'm stuck here because I signed a contract and I'm here. I have to do this. It was a choice for me to shift my perspective and say, you know what? I'm going to make the best of this. Or to be like, oh, this sucks and I'm just stuck here and this just sucks. It was an option, right? So that would be my response to you. My name is Alex, by the way. Alex Salamone is my name. Tried getting mental health over weekend. Insurance hops made me give up. Not worth it. Well, Paula, if you are interested in, is it a financial thing for you? If it is, you don't have to answer that, but there is a lot of free mental health out there that you can get. I really suggest that you keep looking, and there's a lot of resources out there. And I'm going to say that not worth it is that the best investment you can make on yourself is yourself, right? And take that money, if you can, if it's going to give you more happiness, if it's going to give you more peace in your heart, it's worth it. It's super worth it. I'm telling you right now, because there's no price on that. If you're living every single day of your life like in the shithole and feeling crappy, but you don't want to invest in yourself, or maybe you're really tight, like I said, there's a lot of programs out there for free counseling. And that's why I do these things, right? I mean, it's not therapy, but it's in hopes to help people, at least, to give them some sort of guidance and direction. But anyways, all right, guys. Well, it's 5 o'clock. I have to go, but I'm 4 minutes over. I just want to say thank you, all of you, for joining in on this live, and I really hope it was helpful. I really hope that it ignited something in you to want to take action, and do things differently, because life is short. We only live once, and you don't deserve to be living this way if you're not happy with it, right? So do something different today. After this session, when you're done with me, just do one thing. Just promise me one thing for yourself that's different. And, tomorrow do something else. and the next day do another one and another one. Keep do something for yourself every single day, and you'll find that slowly but surely things will get better. And if you need help, I'm your coach. You can reach out to me if you're interested in working with me. Set up a discovery session. I have the link on my profile, and yeah, I'm happy to help in any way I can. I'm pretty booked, but I always try to make time for people, and that's why I come on here as well, to try to help. This is my way of giving to all of you. So thank you so much. Have an amazing rest of your week. Stay motivated, stay positive. Remember that you're beautiful, that you're amazing, and most importantly, be brave out there. Get out of your comfort zone. All right, take care, everybody.